your children are going to be exposed to technology. It is a non-negotiable in our society today. And it is naive of parents to believe that they can totally digitally protect their children. I've had parents, unfortunately, tell me that hackers have gotten into the school laptops and actually shown to young children through school. So how are you going to facilitate these conversations? Because unfortunately, and it's not a doomsday, but we need to be honest, it's not if it happens, it's when it happens, because it is going to happen. So how
age 8 is now the average age for a child to be exposed?
I think it's 8 or 9 years old is the average age of exposure. It's an important thing for parents. I don't think that parents can have this, in quotation marks, luxury anymore of not being involved and active with their children, you know? So it's how do we then as parents create a framework for our children to know that when they are exposed to that mum and dad are safe people to talk about these things with. This is really more like hard to hear, I guess, as parents, but something that we have to understand is what is now growing as well is actually sibling on sibling abuse with young kids through exposure. And I've actually personally met young men that have said that this is what has happened to me. I've met young girls that have said my brother has done these things to me because of porn. And so the reason I say this again is not to doomsday, but I hope parents can understand the weight of this and understand that for your little children, your 4, 5, 6-year-old, that if you can try and give some language to this stuff, you can potentially negate a lifetime of pain for your child by having that hard conversation. So an actionable and tangible thing for any parent that's like, I'm so overwhelmed. There's a book you can buy and it's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. And it is fantastic. And I've heard parents that have said that something will pop up on a screen or like they've been on Spotify and something inappropriate and they've heard their kid shout, Mom, there's a bad picture on the screen. And then they've turned around, they've turned it off. Thank you so much. Do you want to talk about that? How did that make you feel? You know, and it's having age appropriate conversations of, hey, if you're ever on the iPad, if you're ever on a phone, if you're ever on, you know, insert device and you see something and you know, maybe in your tummy, it doesn't make you feel very good. Maybe it makes you feel a little weird or unsure or, and because the thing is kids can get exposed to anything nowadays. It might not even be, it might be, you know, the horrific videos of what happens to people overseas and getting tortured and like all the, like guys, the internet is wild, unfortunately. And so how can we frame these conversations of if you see anything on a device, if you're here, if you're with a family member, if you're with a friend, whatever, and it doesn't make you feel good, you're not in trouble. I'm not going to get mad at you, but I want you to talk to me. And then if you catch your child consuming, as hard as it is, but this is why we need the tools beforehand as parents, don't freak out. What are you doing? What is that? Get off. Like, no. Because then they're going to go into shame. And then it's going to make him feel a type of way because, of course, and then it's, oh, well, what was that made me feel? So I want to, but I know mum and dad aren't going to, and they're going to have questions. And do you know the amount of kids that will end up accidentally watching because they're curious about puberty? Like, just basic stuff of like, because people say, well, why do kids need to know this? So do you see already by basic anatomy, basic education, basic frameworking, that little boy maybe is having all these changes in his body because that's a normal age to go through puberty. But if he doesn't feel that he is a safe adult to talk to these things about, he's going to Google it. And what do you think he's going to find? And so I just hope that I'm framing a lot of different narratives for parents to try and encourage you guys that this isn't scary. There's a lot of actionable things you can do. If you are faith-based, start with the simplicity of, do you know that God made everything? And he says it was good. But then he looked at us and he said that we're very good. So you are very good. Your body is very good. All your feelings that you feel, they come from God and it's okay and they're natural and they're normal. We talk about them. And then that's how when they see something and they go, I don't know, that made me feel a little, that's okay. There's no shame. There's no condemnation. Let's talk about it. So I'm hoping that's some very tangible things to not overwhelm parents with this very heavy conversation. Like you can be championed, you know, to have these conversations with your young kids.